Chapter 19 of The Mandalorian complicated Bo-Katan even more. This episode, or at least the Mandalorian parts of the episode, were all about Bo-Katan and her redemption, even more so than Din Djarin's. As the trio were getting ready to leave the mines, Bo cautiously asked Din if he saw anything alive while he was under the waters, wondering if he saw the Mythosaur is what she's getting at. This was the most important detail for understanding the conflict and the complications still within her character. She wants to be sure that she was the only one who saw the living Mythosaur because she knows the implications of the Mythosaur, but also knows the complications of the Mythosaur. She knows that the Mythosaur would negate the need for the Darksaber in terms of leadership claims, but she also knows what many of us know, or at least we're wondering, and what good is taming a large beast and riding it around an empty planet? Before she can tame the Mythosaur and utilize it as a claim to leadership, she needs to have people that are behind her and backing her. Bo-Katan wants to be sure Din didn't see anything because it's going to take her time to figure out what exactly to do about the Mythosaur's existence. As it stands, Bo-Katan is the only one who knows that the Mythosaur exists. Or is she? Part of me wonders if Grogu was able to feel the presence of the Mythosaur through the Force. We've seen that Grogu really does have a connection with large beasts. But for now though, Grogu is unable to use the words to communicate to Din or anyone else what he felt if he did feel anything. I don't think that Grogu trusts Bo-Katan either. And you know what? I'm not sure I do either, but I do think she's my favorite character so far in the season. On their way off of Mandalore, a large squadron of TIE interceptors, the more agile variation of TIE fighters, attacks Din and Bo-Katan. Din is able to get to his N1 starfighter, and the two make quick work of the interceptors. I said this in the watch party, and I'll say it again, the two work well together. And hey, I'm not necessarily saying they need to be romantically involved, I'm simply saying they're a good team. The TIE interceptors, though, were only a distraction from the real threat. TIE bombers quickly laid waste to Bo's home on Kalevala. With her current home destroyed, Bo has no choice but to seek refuge with Din and the zealous children of the Watch. Bo-Katan has been a contrast to this sect of Mandalorians the whole time she's been part of the show. However, she now finds herself redeemed by their creed and poised to join their ways. The Armorer proclaims hers and Din Djarin's redemption after Din provides the proof that they both bathed in the living waters. The redemption of Bo-Katan is a powerful step in her story. She is considered Mandalorian in the most traditional standards now. She holds information that has powerful implications for the future of these people, and surprisingly, she does now seem to have those supporters. Now, they're not necessarily supporting her for leadership, but they now are at least welcoming her into their fold. The last time we heard the Armorer talk about Bo-Katan, it was not very positive, so the Armorer declaring Bo Mandalorian once more reminds us just how important the creed and the traditions are to the Children of the Watch. It doesn't matter their history as long as they're able to check some boxes regarding the creed, they're able to find redemption, and that is exactly where we see Bo-Katan in the eyes of the Children of the Watch. Everyone minus maybe Paz Vizsla. Bo-Katan is aware of this and is likely cooking up a long-term plan to utilize the Mythosaur and gain the Children of the Watch's support of her as Mandalore, the sole ruler of the Mandalorian people. As far as we know, the two major factions of Mandalorians right now are the Children of the Watch and Bo's old followers who ditched her after she returned to them without the Darksaber. Now, there's probably other Mandalorians dispersed throughout the galaxy, but these seem to be the two major factions for now. Bo will need the support of both factions in order to claim leadership of the Mandalorian people again. I believe that the Children of the Watch would be convinced to support her leadership now that she is redeemed. However, the other Mandalorians are the ones that might need a little bit more convincing, like Mythosaur-sized convincing. So now we arrive at my theory for where this story could go. I actually think Bo-Katan will end up telling Din and the Armorer about the Mythosaur. Perhaps at the beginning of the episode, she was guarded with that information, but after being welcomed by the Watch, I think that her opinion of them and perhaps her idea of where they fit in her long-term plans is changing. Bo-Katan has never been a devious character. She's always been open about her intentions to rule. So I don't think her keeping the information from Din at the beginning of the episode was devious so much as it was more just strategic and holding on to information until she knew what to do with it. She could certainly seek the help of the Children of the Watch in returning to Mandalore and hunting down the Mythosaur. During the opening scene of Chapter 17, we saw the Children of the Watch take on a large lizard-like creature. They were unable to defeat it until Din Djarin swooped in and saved the day. And at the time, this scene was nothing more than an extended hero entrance for Din and Grogu, at least I thought so. But now I wonder if it was meant to foreshadow a bigger fight, perhaps the Children of the Watch joining Bo-Katan in fighting or at least attempting to tame the Mythosaur. Say Bo-Katan rallies the Children of the Watch to return to the mines and take on the Mythosaur. This battle probably won't end up in the killing of the Mythosaur, but the taming of it. We still have to deal with the issue of who ultimately tames the creature and utilizes it as a claim to leadership. Now, it could be Grogu with his beast taming abilities, it could be Din Djarin utilizing the Darksaber, it's even possible the Armorer or maybe even somebody like Paz Vizsla ultimately tames it. However, my money is on Bo-Katan right now, as the show really has been working to re-establish her as a Mandalorian who wants to lead. Don't forget that point, because it really is unique to her. So far, the only other Mandalorian that even seems to have an inkling of ambition is Paz Vizsla. So, plot twist, maybe he tames the Mythosaur and becomes the leader of the Mandalorians. But so far, they've really been setting up Bo-Katan to at least make a tangible grab for leadership. Season 3 of The Mandalorian has prompted more questions than answers, and I love it. One of the best parts about watching new Star Wars content is the ability to theorize and talk about all of the unknowns and try to guess where the show is going. So to tie a bow on this video, see what I did there? I want to emphasize the importance of Bo-Katan's redemption. This is a huge step in her story, both personally, but also for any future claim she may have to lead. Her redemption allows her to step into the traditional ways of Mandalorian culture that she has scoffed at for most of her life. This is important because I'm starting to think the new age of Mandalore is not about ditching the old ways, but actually returning to them. If you're not familiar with the Mandalorian history, or at least recent history, during the decades leading up to the Clone Wars and the Clone Wars, Mandalore ditched their old traditional ways to adopt more of a pacifist, modern culture in order to fit in with the rest of the galaxy and to grow their economy and grow as a planet. They didn't see the traditional ways of clans warring and fighting each other as a way of building their planet. But I think that what we'll see is the new era of Mandalore, this new age of Mandalore, returning to a more refined version of the clan dynamic within Mandalorians, and they'll all be united under one ruler, just like ancient Mandalore. So with Bo-Katan seen as a true Mandalorian by what seems to be the largest sect of Mandalorians right now, she only needs something like the Mythosaur to solidify her claim to leadership. But what do you think? Will she lead the Mandalorian people into a new era, or will it be somebody else? Let me know in the comments below. I also want to know what you rate this episode out of 10, and I know I only focused on the Mandalorian related stuff and bypassed the wealth of story that happened on Coruscant, which was amazing. I loved how much time we got to spend on Coruscant. All of that deserves a video of its own, so stay tuned for that. But until then, have a great rest of your day, and may the Force be with you.